So we start off with self-awareness. This is Neville's fundamentals. We start off with self-awareness. When we know what we don't want, we always know better what we do want. I don't believe it when people tell me that they don't know what they want. It's easy to figure out. Take stock of everything in your life. And if there's things in your life that you don't like, well, what's the opposite of that? That's what your desire is. And it's important to understand that the world is our mirror, that we are the cause of all the effects in our world. The world is our mirror. Therefore, everything is happening for us, not to us. And this is really, really important to understand. This is one of the rules of the game. Understanding that your world is a mirror. It's a mirror effect to the cause, which is us. It's the concepts that we believe. Most of them are unconscious. And when something comes to the surface in our world, it's bringing it up to the conscious state so that we can look at it. People think that the 3D is out to get them, when that's actually not the case. The 3D reality is there to bring to the light what needs transformation within yourself. We have all these stories that we've been claiming as ours. If it's a story that you're telling, then you believe it. We just have to be aware of what those stories are and see if they match what we desire. And if it doesn't, we got to stop telling it and we got to start telling a new story. So if our job is to live in the wish fulfilled state and occupy that state of being that we want to experience, then our job is to always rework what comes into our experience. Work it like the potter. Then after we self-observe, we know what we want and we're observing ourselves. And if things don't match, we literally have to detach from all those old stories. We detach from the old story, we start telling a new story and attach to that, and then we persist in that state. The law is quite simple. You just need to understand the rules. But once you know the rules, you don't need anything else. What we need to do is actually put these rules into work, testing it. And it's not going to be easy at first. We are trying to develop new paradigms, new habits of thought, and that's not easy, at least not at the beginning. But the more you do it, the easier it gets. Okay, it's like when I first started driving, I was so scared behind the wheel. Literally, I was like, and I'm sure all of us do this, we're hanging onto the steering wheel with both hands. We're checking everything. We're going slow. We're driving so slow. People are honking behind us. Nobody likes to drive behind a new driver. But then you practice. And then now it's like the car drives itself now. Sometimes I'm putting on my lipstick. I'm drinking my coffee. I'm fiddling around with the radio. Why? Because I have confidence that I know how to drive. Okay, so Sandra's asking, where does the action part fit into all of this? So you take 3D reality, and if it's not what you want, but you're keeping your desire at the forefront of your mind, okay? We always have to remember, what is it that I want? And if you were embodying that version of yourself that was already living that, how would that version of you respond to the 3D? Most of us are just reacting, automatically reacting. And when we react, we react based on the beliefs that we currently have within our consciousness, which does not serve us some of the time. So for instance, when I started doing this with my business, I'll tell you guys a story because it was really one of my more popular stories. I thought, oh, our sales are going up. Then this customer bought $10,000. We were selling hockey cards at the time. This one person bought $10,000 worth of merchandise from us. Took it all, opened up every single pack of cards, took out all the valuable cards, put them back in, tried to make it look like he sealed it again, and returned every single pack of cards that he bought from us, $10,000 worth. So the first month I'm thinking, woohoo, this is wonderful. You know, we found a product that is bringing us a lot of revenue. And then the next month, Buddy returns it all. And Amazon gave him a full refund. Then when we got the merchandise back, we had noticed that all the packs were opened, which meant that we could not resell it. Now, it's natural. I was so freaking mad. I was mad. I was upset. I was angry. I wanted revenge on that guy. Literally, I wanted that person to experience the same kind of pain that I was experiencing. That's natural, right? But then I remembered, if I was, and I wasn't a millionaire at this point, but if I was a successful business person and I was doing millions of dollars in revenue, would $10,000 matter to me? Because I was honestly feeling like it was like the end of the world. Nothing's working. So many scammers out there. Why are things not working out for me? I'm doing the work. That was my story. And I realized that that was my story. And I realized that that story didn't match the story that I did want to tell. And so, as hard as it was, I forgave that man. I said, I don't know why you did what you did, but I hope that you find prosperity. I hope that you're successful, because I understand that a person that is successful doesn't go out and do these kinds of things to other people. So I found the Christ in myself and I forgave him. But I forgave him because I hated the feeling that I was feeling. And I didn't understand the mirror effect from back then. I do now. I do now realize that people just play the part that we've assigned them based on what we believe about ourselves, about other people, and about the world. They're only playing that part. So I had to rework my story. Anyways, a year later, so I forgave him. I'm like, okay, no big deal. We'll make the $10,000 back some other way. No big deal. And that I felt better about that. Then a year later, the Canadian government was giving out loans to businesses, but you had to qualify for the loan. And because that customer pushed our sales up by $10,000, we qualified for that loan. Had he not done that, we wouldn't have had enough sales to qualify. And part of that program was, so we were given a $60,000 loan, but we only had to pay back 40 of it. So $20,000 of that was money that we were allowed to keep. So we basically doubled the amount of money that we lost. I got it all back plus an extra $10,000. And then we used that money, that $60,000, and we invested money into our business and we turned it over and over again. Any of the profits we put into more product and we just kept turning it over and over and over again until it ended up being $3.6 million. And I think that I attribute that happening to my state, the state of being that I decided that I wanted to occupy. So whatever happens in our reality, we keep top of mind what it is that we desire to experience in this life, and we respond to everything in our lives as the version of ourselves that we want to be all the time. There is no wavering here. We have to bury our old man. We cannot serve two masters. And that's actually what most of us are doing. We say that we want the thing, whatever it is that we want. We want the SP, we want the money, we want the house, we want the car, then we want the job. But we waver. We cannot have wavering faith. We literally have to bury our old man and step into the new version of ourselves. We persist. I think that that's where people fall short, is in the fact that they have wavering faith.